All right, today we are going to be talking about cultural appropriation or culture appropriation. You know, one of those phrases Nigerians only come across when we are on the internet, because the idea of appropriating a culture is actually foreign to us.
Wool up, just wool up.
Which is weird considering the fact that we have over 300 ethnic groups. Yes, over 300, and each has its own custom, delicacies, fashion, rituals, language, deity. I mean, everything that makes a custom unique. Each of these customs has it. So despite how multicultural we are, a word like cultural appropriation or the idea of cultural appropriation has never crossed our minds as Nigerians. Despite the secret loading, the secret loading many Nigerians have for customs that aren't theirs. This loading is so much that many parents will not allow their children to marry from another culture. Yet in America, a progressive nation that believes there is strength in diversity, we constantly hear you guys complain about someone appropriating your culture.
You cultural appropriator.
Whoa! Hey!
It looks like the idea of diversity is not really working out for you guys. But what does it mean to appropriate someone's culture? What exactly is cultural appropriation? Well, according to Wikipedia, yes, I know, Wikipedia, because there's no other place where I can find something that comes close to a common sense definition. And I'm using the word common sense here very loosely. So according to Wikipedia, cultural appropriation is the inappropriate or unacknowledged adoption of an element or elements of one's culture or identity by members of another culture or identity. All right, so quick question here. When is adopting elements of someone's culture inappropriate? Or what makes it inappropriate? This definition just raises more questions than it tries to answer. And that's the best I could come up with. But thankfully, after Hailey Bieber began to trend for what seems to be an atrocity of racial magnitude, Good Morning America decided to shed some light on this highly complex concept. Take a look.
Stephanie.
Michael, good morning. Hailey Bieber doesn't claim to have invented this particular lip combo in her video, the brown lip liner and the clear lip gloss, but that post about that combo led to an influx of TikTok users recreating the look on the platform and crediting Bieber as their inspiration. Others calling it cultural appropriation. This morning, supermodel Hailey Bieber facing backlash after sharing her new lip routine on TikTok with the caption, "Ready for all the fall things, including brownie glazed lips."
New girl moved on the block.
The now viral post causing a wave of criticism. Social media users calling out the supermodel, claiming she is culturally appropriating the makeup routine, using dark lip liner and clear lip gloss, a popular style from the late 80s and 90s.
I know that lip combo is not Hailey Bieber lips. It is a Latina and Black woman lip combo.
The issue is when something is sort of presented as if it's something new, when it's a practice that has been around for decades and decades. African American and Latina women get denigrated for the ways that they present their body, the way they wear their hair. People use words like ghetto or ratchet or have these identities to denigrate women.
It was ghetto, it was trashy, it was not cute.
Many pointing out that the lip style was accepted when a white woman did it, but not when a woman of color did.
Because if that would have been me in high school, here in the Midwest, I would have gotten so much shame for that. I would have not fit in.
Kylie Jenner faced a similar controversy when she announced her new lip tint, Besitos, Spanish for kisses.
Besitos, besitos.
It is highly unlikely that a Black or Latina woman would have the same success as her using their own trend. And so you're taking from a community without giving them the credit. I know it may seem as trivial as a lip gloss and a lip-lined lip, but this is a systemic issue. In the end, it is still the Black and Latina women that are losing. They lose parts of their identity. They lose their self-worth.
Okay. Americans, you guys need to calm down. Like, seriously. Like, how is this even a problem? Lipstick? Like, okay, Black people created a trend in the 90s with products made by a company run by white people, and you're going to accuse the race of the CEOs of those companies of stealing your culture? Like, don't you see the irony?
Oh yeah, that makes sense. No, it doesn't. Not cool at all.
Now, if you think what you saw on CBS or on Good Morning America is preposterous, then buckle up, because this ride is about to get even more ridiculous. Just watch.
Well, I guess I didn't hear anything about anybody worrying about it. What I hear about when I think about and talk about cultural appropriation is people becoming more aware of it. We could say the same thing about racism, sexism, homophobia. Just because you can't solve it and don't see it at every corner doesn't mean we shouldn't be aware of it and trying to address it.
Wow, do you really put those on the same level?
I absolutely
Racism
do.
and sexism,
Absolutely.
you put it on the same level as cultural appropriation?
That's exactly.
So if somebody wears their hair like you're wearing it, you put that on the same level as racism?
Absolutely. I put that on the same level as white supremacy because white supremacy is intersectional.
I mean, the layers of stupidity. How someone this old can be this dumb can only be the outcome of the most terrible form of dark magic.
Ah! What you doing, man? You felt it?
Like, what is he even talking about? Like, how can you wear a suit and tie, an attire that screams Western, and then accuse someone of inappropriately adopting your culture because they braided their hair? As in, you don't see the inconsistency? Look, black ladies go around wearing all kinds of wigs. Black, red, blonde, brown, silver, and nobody accuses them of appropriating white culture. But God forbid that Kim Kardashian should wear cornrows or Hailey Bieber should use dark shades of lipstick. I mean, in Nigeria, we wear each other's cultural attire all the time. Even when it makes us look ridiculous, it's a way of respecting and acknowledging the culture of others. Because there is nothing insulting or unacceptable about it. I mean, when did this become such a controversy? I mean, in Nigeria, we love it when Americans started recognizing Afro music, or when you guys were fiending for Nigerian jollof, or when we see you wear on social media wear attires that are Nigerian attires, even when you don't know the culture you are imitating. Like, we are so privy to images and facts about so many customs in this internet age that it is almost impossible to keep track of the source. But before we adopt it, we must do our research and give credit, else it's cultural appropriation. I mean, this kind of idiotic, moronic suggestion is why the Little Mermaid portrayed as black became such a controversial hot topic. Yet anyone brave enough to call out the obvious double standard is called a racist.
The left also likes to employ its favorite sleight of hand trick that we talk about all the time on this show. This is something that they will surely use in response to this very monologue you're listening to right now when Media Matters clips it and posts it to Twitter with a caption like, Daily Wire host launches into racist tirade about Black Little Mermaid.
Americans, this is not what you call strength and diversity.
We are all in this together.
Listen, if someone is adopting elements of your culture and you find it offensive, then something is fundamentally wrong with you. And I know it might offend you, but it should actually offend you. You should be offended. And I want you to realize that considering this kind of idea to be valid is ridiculous, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Because good cultural elements are always imitated, often without tracing the source. Everything we do today came from someone, somewhere, that we can't even remember.
I get where you're coming from. I'm coming from the bathroom.
And I know there is this deep-seated hatred for white people for obvious reasons. But get over it. Things are different now. I mean, we in Africa, we also suffered under colonialism, but we don't hold any grudge as a community against the West. Maybe a tiny bit, but we don't really hold that much grudge. So why can't the black people in America do the same, especially when you live in the most favorable country for black people in the world? And this is why I say the idea of cultural appropriation, or that term, is a joke. A very dumb joke. An idea that is insane, full of logical inconsistency, and actually born out of resentment and hatred.